Well, while we're one of the things that
Someone dropped
while they're messing around with
right
all of
before we
that,
started
one of the things I want to do is let's take a look at. Now, I don't have a deck list for Trey built in here, but I do have one for Dominic, and this is really like this is. I'll put this on the big screen so you can see it. Right
There we go.
now, Boba Blue is not a matchup, not a pairing that I have seen a lot of. We've seen a lot of like mono yellow Boba.
Mhm.
We've seen a lot of Boba Green.
Correct.
But Boba Blue, Boba with control.
I think this deck only really came into play when people just started realizing that Vigilance at 6 is just really strong.
I mean, most of the big double aspect cards, Cunning and Vigilance, both,
Right.
even if you're paying 6 for them, are excellent cards.
And I think that's when this deck idea kind of took off, because
Okay.
it's just all of the really strong control options.
Mhm.
Not only do you have Vigilance, quote unquote, out of aspect is how I usually refer to it, with you're having to pay an additional cost, but he's also got the Spark of Rebellion in there, which that's a spicy
Is Spark
choice.
in his main list?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Look at that, 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's a card that I'm starting to. I've even seen people start to put Spark in their villain lists.
Yeah.
Just
That's what we have here.
Just paying,
Yeah.
right? I mean, yeah,
Just
okay, duh, you're right. But at least this is villain yellow,
Right.
Like I've seen people put Spark in like Krennic green control
and paying
lists,
6 for it.
paying 6 for it.
Yeah.
Like which is one of the which sounds crazy, but it's one of the things that I absolutely adore about this game is that you have that option available to you. You just have to be willing to pay the price, right?
And in the beginning of the meta, like that was like unheard of. No one was doing that. And then as time has gone on,
as time has gone on, people
are
are absolutely doing that now.
I really like Spark. For a while I was playing it in my Churret deck. So
Spark is a great card.
I was paying for
Jason's going to come knock and let us know when time starts.
I asked him to come knock when he started time.
Perfect. So this will be good. Palpatine is another one of those leaders that I have also really wanted to make work, and I've really struggled with. I've tried him with a little bit of red. I've never tried him with green. I'm actually really curious to see this.
I've been told I'm not a Palpatine player. I guess he started time. Maybe we missed the knock with these headphones on.
I don't think so.
Hear it.
Stick your head out there and see if there's a time on the clock yet. That may just be getting set up. They may not be starting. No. Okay.
Yeah, he's getting the clock ready.
Okay.
So
okay.
Not started yet. They're just going ahead and drawing.
Fair enough.
So I'm not a Palpatine player. I am not typically a heavy control type of player.
Palpatine's not really
like
control.
I read Palpatine. He's correct. He's not really control. You're right. He's a strange ramp deck. And there's not a ton of people in our meta that have been playing it, but I've been told that the best version of Palpatine is this mono list.
Really? Okay.
That's the time start.
There we go.
There.
All right. So time begins. Trey comes in with Wolf Lair right off the bat.
What a fun card.
He is fun. No?
Oh,
he's still okay, Dominic's still resourcing.
Gotcha. There we go.
There's the Wolf Lair. Okay, no worries. Dominic bringing out an Inferno 4.
Electing to split. Oh, no, taking it back. Putting them both on the bottom.
Okay, he flushed them both.
Yeah.
Of course, Inferno 4 lets you take a quick peek at the top of your deck when it comes out, and then you get the choice to leave them or split them or put them both on the bottom. Now, one of the things about Palpatine is the slowest leader in the game, right? Because he does not come out until you have 8 resources on the board, which is not. He's the slowest. Nobody else is remotely that slow.
Yeah, and even then, like, he's not like other characters too, where you're trying to get him out as quickly as possible. You're waiting for the most opportune time. So, Power of the Dark Side coming out. Trey making a decision.
Yeah, we're seeing
on who he wants to get rid of.
Yeah,
he brought in
the cell block guard. I'm sure he's going to get rid of Yularen, and he does.
I think that's the right play.
I think it is too. Trey retaining the initiative, going into turn 3 here. Now, one of the things that I'm sure is in Trey's list, I'm sure he's running commands. That's a
Oh, for
card
sure.
of
That's the
all
reason
of
you
all
go.
the big, powerful double aspect events. It's one that we just have, and there it is.
There you go.
Speak of the devil, and he shall appear.
Maybe taking that back.
I'm not sure what just happened.
I think he was taking that back.
Looks like he's
maybe doing it anyway.
No, he's going to do it. He's got it in his hand again.
Something being communicated about Inferno 4 that made Trey.
Oh, maybe it was the.
Does damage command does damage equal to like your unit's power, right?
Friendly damage equal to the power of a non-unique enemy unit.
Oh, and
so
Inferno 4 is
you
unique.
can't murder it because it's that's what it is. Trey tried to do damage to it, and he's not able to. He's still going to play it. He's going to resource it.
Resource it, and
it looks like he took Eularen back out of his discard pile.
Okay.
Another power of the dark side wipes out the cell block guard.
No, that's search.
Or no, that's search your feelings, Mike. Excuse me.
The tutor. Going and
that's a card that I really like, but you just don't see a lot.
You don't see it a lot, even in these type of decks.
Yeah,
main list is playing 1-2 copies.
I'm a huge fan of it.
Okay,
it's one that more that I like. I think I like the idea of it more than I've ever really gotten it to work. But I do really like the card.
I think as time goes on, it becomes maybe more and more useful.
Cell block guard swinging in for some damage.
More and more combos that you're really wanting to pull off. So anything to pull off a certain combo.
Dominic wants initiative rather than damage on Trey's base, so he grabs the token as we head into the next round.
See what he took with Search Your
Feelings.
We did
not. We weren't. He didn't show us. Okay. He just has to grab a card and put it in his hand.
Right.
And I did not have a good enough look at his hand beforehand. He is sitting on a super laser blast.
I do see that. I imagine it was maybe that. What I imagine people are trying to grab with that super laser blast.
Probably tried to grab it a little early. Just go ahead and have it available when he needs it, if he decides he needs it later on.
Ooh, that's a lot of hate in that hand.
Yeah, that's blue, baby. That's blue for you. Dominic trying to figure out what to resource here.
Trey already up to 6.
Trey's up to 6. He used it. One of the options he got with command was to resource the card, and he did that. Coming in with a takedown. Clean up the board a little bit. Boba gets one of those resources back for him. Of course, we're going to be seeing Boba the leader a little bit later in the round. Trey loves traders. He's going to steal.
He does love traders.
He's going to steal himself some Inferno action there. And then swing into Dominic's base for a pair. And now Trey can use the tutor ability of Inferno 4 if he wants to. It doesn't look like he did,
it's on defeat.
Is it on defeat? Oh, it's not only
when played on defeat.
Yep. Boba swings into the base, stands up some more resources. We did deploy Boba when I wasn't looking. Dominic sitting on, what is that, about 4 ready resources over there.
Mm-hmm. Spark.
Coming in with a Spark of Rebellion. We're looking at a Reinforcement Walker, a Vader, a Gladiator Star Destroyer, and that Eularen we saw Trey grab earlier.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. I imagine he takes the Reinforcement Walker.
He did take the Walker.
He's
Trey
got
grabs
other ways
the initiative.
to deal with Vader, so just getting that healing out of his hand, I think, is a pretty good play.
I think it is. Palpatine is one of those leaders. If you let him hang in the game to the late game, green in general is that color, right? Like if you let green hang into the game to the late game, you're probably going to regret your decisions that led to that circumstance. Trey coming in with 7. That's the Vader we saw, I'm sure.
And
there it is.
Go ahead and he's going to do Vader's win played effect first.
Going to see what else he can come up with.
I definitely see a Royal Guard in there.
Royal Guard would not be a bad call right now. The trick with the Vader ambush is he's not going to be able to kill Boba. He's just going to be able to wound him
Correct.
badly, basically. Now, Trey's on 7 resources.
Yes.
So he's got a super laser tech in there. That would not be necessarily a great play. He's going to opt for a simple...
Homestead Militia?
That's a Homestead Militia. Another
Oh,
card
wait,
that actually...
he's putting it back because Homestead Militia is not villainy. And Vader...
And Vader does require villain.
Yeah,
that is
Vader only
true.
targets
You're right.
villainy.
Vader does require a villain card. He may end up with the Royal Guard if that's the case.
Yeah, I think that was...
No, he's going to go for the super laser tech.
Okay.
I'm a little surprised at that decision.
I am as well.
Because
he's already at 7.
He's already at 7.
I
mean, he's going to get Palpatine next turn no matter what.
Right. Or just the threat of Palpatine.
Yeah.
So you know.
Oh, wait a minute. He has yet to use Palpatine's ability.
Correct.
But
so he'll be able to.
He'll be able to do that if he wants. He can burn. He can defeat the super laser tech using Palpatine. He doesn't have a resource. He has to pay to do that.
Oh yes, correct.
That's unfortunate.
Correct.
I am somehow a damage off on Dominic. There we go.
So the 5 damage does go into Boba Fett.
Yep. When you ambush a unit in, you're not allowed to attack a base. Vigilance is going to come in and defeat Vader.
Yes, because it's something with 3 or health.
Something with 3 health, 3 or less remaining HP.
And also going for
and then he's going to mill 6 cards off the top of Trey's deck.
That's what I've kind of seen with these Boba Blue decks is depending on the matchup, they can kind of swing one of 2 ways and go for that mill option. Also, he's playing the 30 health base, so he has that advantage of being able to go longer.
Dominic grabs the initiative, and we're on to the next turn. Now, Trey's going to hit 8 resources this round. Dominic is still a turn behind that, so we know Dominic has the Super Laser Blast available. He's just he can't play it this round. He's going to go in for the Spark again.
And we look like
what are we looking at here? Still the
Gladiator.
I see a Rook, Yularen, and I think an Escort Skiff in there.
Is that what that's called?
Pretty sure what that last one is an Escort Skiff.
You're right. You're right.
So I mean, there's some good units in there, but there's nothing really catastrophic.
Yeah, no.
He's going to go for the Gladiator.
Yeah. Kill any kind of weird combo potential, I guess. And then we'll see the Technician trade.
Get clear Fett off the board, and that'll bump him up to 9 resources now. Palpatine available to come onto the board anytime Trey wants at this stage. Swing in with Inferno 4.
Trey's going to be able to build a board here, but he knows that Dominic's coming up on the hard removal turn.
He has to know that. I mean, he knows he's up against blue.
Yeah. He knows that the hard removal's coming. So does he waste? Not waste. Yeah, that's okay. There he goes. He takes the initiative.
Trey's going to take the initiative with a full hit, with a full power. I never spent a single resource that round.
Nope. They're just going to take that damage right off the top of the turn. Makes sense to me.
Keep thumping Dominic with his own unit.
Yep.
Wait, no, did he do it? Did he take it back? Or I think Dominic hasn't done. I think Dominic's not done resourcing yet.
Oh, correct. No, okay.
That would have been a surprise.
That would have been surprising to me.
He almost resourced the Super Laser Blast? Is that what I saw?
I think he ended up... Was that the Fire Spray?
It looks like it's not in his hand anymore. It looks like he did resource.
I'm pretty sure that was the Fire Spray.
Well, Trey immediately swings in with Inferno 4. And both players... Did Dominic pass and Trey claimed initiative, and that's the turn?
I believe so. Dominic really afraid of Palpatine stealing whatever he's about to play. Trey,
100%.
Trey content with doing
Trey
the 2
content
damage.
to just keep slinging for 2 a turn with a unit that he didn't even play, and there it is again. Feels like you get the sense that Dominic's waiting for something in his hand, but I'm just
Right.
not sure what that is.
Well, he's gonna help himself try to find it with the what is it called? The mining guild TIE fighter, I believe.
Yep, that's a Mining Guild TIE Fighter, 100%. A card that I think is actually a little underrated, truth be told.
Yeah. Draw power. I think there's a big argument, kind of
In the late game,
power of draw power.
I think there's actually some value in it. Personally, I love using Boba. I love using that card in my Boba decks.
For sure.
For resources, Trey looks like he might be sitting on another command.
I think so. I think that's what he's got at the front there. Yeah.
And he does.
So he's going to kill the Mining Guild tie, and he's going to put the Gladiator back in his hand.
Looks like he took the Gladiator out of his hand, out of his Discord pile, and murder the Mining Guild tie. No. He's going to grab the Reinforcement Walker instead? Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the right play. Now, he can't bring that Walker onto the board this round.
But he still has...
6 resources left. Dominic is not going to want to Power of the Dark Side, going to finally clear that Inferno 4 out.
Right.
Had enough of that guy. Imagine getting thumped for that much damage by your own unit.
For real. Again, it is Trey's. He has told me multiple times Traitorous is his favorite card. So I'm sure he loves boasting about the value that he ends up getting.
Trey comes in with Yularen, heals his base for 1.
Yes.
And then brings in the Escort Skiff.
Very nice.
Just hard cast it for another heal. Okay.
And they're going into the next turn.
There's now 2 blasts in Dominic's hand. It's interesting the way Trey plays this deck. It feels like a form of control.
Yes.
He doesn't have the hard control cards.
That's kind of where I came off, like, speaking that way. That it is a control deck. Because I played against Trey a couple of times with it, and that's what it feels to me. There's the Super Laser Blast.
Super Laser Blast.
So just a hard
8 cost, wipe everything clean off the board.
Love that artwork.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, looks great.
I would say I'm expecting to see that Reinforcement Walker at some point.
I think he might
Dominic
hold on
just
to it.
claiming
I
the
think he
initiative.
might just be content to play kind of smaller units and
I mean, at this point, I would.
Especially since I think Dominic has played 2 Power of the Dark Sides.
He's played
1 takedown.
Yep, that sounds about right.
So the smaller removal has already gone, right? Or some of it.
We haven't seen Vanquishes yet.
No.
There's got to be at least 1 or 2 in there, I would think.
But the single, some of the single target.
Oh no, this is gonna start to get wacky now because Dominic's gonna come in. Yeah, he's not gonna be able to kill the Sentinel because of Palpatine being on the board.
Right. That wording be control and not.
Correct.
I think there's other things that say, like, if it's you control it as a unit.
Correct.
It just says control.
So Dominic tried to come in with a bounty hunter crew there, then apparently changed his mind.
Right. Realizing that it wasn't going to be able to.
Was not going to be enough
to kill the Sentinel.
To kill the Sentinel. Yep. Now he's coming in with something even bigger.
There we go.
There's an Avenger.
There's the Avenger. And now, is Trey going to steal the Avenger?
He can't. Traitorous does not allow.
No, Palpatine.
Huh?
Palpatine.
I'd have to damage it first.
Oh, correct. It does have to be damaged. That's
now
right.
he can damage it with Palpatine by sacking a unit of his own.
Okay. I forget that it has to be damaged.
Yep.
That's a point.
Simple Veers play for Trey. Now, yep, he is going to steal the Avenger.
Right.
Yep. There we go.
Yoink.
And then it's coming for 4. That is a big turn for Trey.
Yeah.
Now the question is...
And Dominic will take the initiative going in, and he's got that
And he's sitting on a second blast in there.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure we're just going to see it right off the bat.
I mean, he'd be foolish not to before his base gets thumped for 8. And I'm realizing now I'm a few points behind because Palpatine was able to swing into his base.
Correct. Oh,
he's going to waylay the Avenger.
That's, and it goes back to
its owner's hand.
Correct. So Dominic's hand.
Mm-hmm. Now, does Avenger say non-leader unit? Can you?
No, it does not.
So,
almost positive it doesn't.
so when he plays Avenger, unless Palpatine's got a buddy,
Correct.
Palpatine's going away.
Right.
Well, Trey's got a handful of cards. I'm sure he can bring somebody out to keep old Papa Palpatine company,
Yeah.
and he does. Bringing out a Royal Guard. One of my favorite cards in the set, actually. There's another blast.
Okay.
And we know
Electing
he's
to
sitting
just
on that.
blast.
And we know he's sitting on that bounty hunter crew to recycle
Yes.
those if he has to.
Correct.
Good Lord.
Going into the long game.
Yep. Trey coming in with a Mahdi. Mahdi's exactly the kind of unit that Palpatine wants to see.
Oh, yeah. Rook.
And Rook. One of the more underplayed cards on the villain side of things.
Because I remember seeing that card spoiled, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that's just the best 5-cost unit that they've shown off.
Yeah,
and,
the first
and
time.
I think it still is a good 5-cost unit. It just doesn't see a lot of play.
Yeah.
The idea of a death touch effect, I guess, in this game, I don't know.
It is shocking to me how little play he actually seems
agree.
to see.
I agree.
But I think in a mono green deck, especially in this particular, we only have one set of cards to work with. I think it absolutely works brilliantly. Chat commenting that it seems like these two players are well into the nuances of their individual decks, and I'm kind of like, these guys,
for sure.
they know the matchup they're in, right?
Yeah,
and
Trey
kinds of things.
Trey was a little lost in the beginning of the meta, not really sure.
He really struggled for a while.
Yeah, what he wanted to play, what intrigued him. He
Mhm.
kind of bounced around something new every single week, and then I feel like he started playing Palpatine after seeing another player in the meta mess around with it, and just got hooked. And that's all he's talked about and wanted to play since.
Dominic coming in with "I am your father." Look at that. Want some cards? Either he gets to draw 3 cards, or 4 Veers is going to bite it.
Yeah,
And Trey's going to let him have the cards, which is why most players play that card.
for sure.
Rook now a 4/7, able to swing into Dominic's base if he wants.
I think Trey's still making a decision.
I don't think Trey's decided yet.
Yeah. Because he has played 2 Super Laser Blasts. Again, yes, he does have the Bounty Hunter crew, but there's a certain amount of tempo associated with that.
True.
So I think Trey's trying to decide if board presence. I think I missed something when I was talking there. Avenger.
He brought out the
Mahdi,
Avenger,
and that took out Mahdi.
and that knocked off Mahdi.
Gotcha.
Yep. And he's going to let him.
Okay,
He's going to let
Veers
him just murder Veers. Okay. Not going to let him have the card draw. Rook swings into the base.
I don't know the matchup well enough, but I could see it either way. And there's a
Trey coming out with a Reinforcement Walker. Having weathered 2 Super Laser Blast, he's held this thing for a long time.
And if I remember, you either get to draw the card or heal 3. I think
you can either draw the card or discard it to heal 3.
Discard it. Well, correct. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put it up here on the
and
screen.
It looked like Trey elected to draw the card.
I believe he did. Yep, there we go. There's your Reinforcement Walker.
Right.
6/9, big
draw
and
it or
beefy.
discard it for 3. Right.
Dominic retaining the initiative.
And that makes sense. He's got the Avenger on the board.
Yeah. Poor Rook. Poor Rook is going to be the first thing to die, I suspect.
Poor Rook. Trey being 1 damage off with the Reinforcement Walker.
Yep. Avenger swings in for 8 into Trey's base. Rook goes away. Trey knows he's got to cover the Reinforcement Walker. I get something else on the board, bringing in a Gladiator.
And he's going to, I imagine, how does the Gladiator work again?
He gives a unit Sentinel for the face.
So
Probably gave it to himself because it doesn't really do him any good in the ground arena.
There's a power.
There's the power. Yep.
He'll
Which is exactly why Trey
Gladiator.
could not leave the Reinforcement Walker on the board by himself.
Right. He wants it to stick. He could have
Yep.
swung with it, but he knows he needs it to stick.
Gonna play an overwhelming barrage to wipe out the Avenger.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a great play.
And that's going to put him at lethal unless Dominic can
Yep,
respond
100%.
to
That puts the Walker at 8. 8 power now, unless Dominic has a response for the Walker right this moment. Another Avenger.
That'll
Oh
do it.
my goodness.
That'll do it.
Avenger coming back onto the board, wipes out the Walker. These blue control decks are so frustrating to fight against.
Trey making sure he has the damage here.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
We have it.
We have it correct on our screen.
Yeah.
Although I think maybe I've gone a little too far. No, he's at 12. Yeah, he's got 13 remaining.
Yeah,
yep, he's got 13 remaining. That's correct.
Dominic retaining initiative there?
Dominic retaining the initiative.
What did Trey do as his last?
I'm not sure.
Or maybe he does have it and he just didn't grab the token. We'll see. Here.
That's not like Trey.
You're correct. He likes he likes grabbing.
If he grabbed the initiative, we would know.
Trey looking. I think he's trying to decide if he resources something here. He's at what?
Like he looks like he's got about 12. Am I counting correctly?
Whew.
3, 6, 9, 12, 13 resources on the board for Trey.
So Dominic did have the initiative there. So I'm
Yes,
not
he
sure
did.
what Trey's final action was.
Dominic swinging in for 8. Avenger is just the finishing card in this matchup.
It's wild.
It's like your win condition. If you could just get to where you can clean up their board and play an Avenger, you just never really have to worry about anything again.
Piet.
Trey coming in with a Piet. Boba Fett's Fire Spray. And unless Trey has a response to that,
that'll be game.
That's going to be game. He needs that gladiator. He needs another gladiator now.
The reinforcement walker would help him heal as well.
He could potentially heal a little bit if he can cast a reinforcement walker out of his hand. It's interesting to me. This Boba Blue deck, this kind of control with the cunning cards, right? Feels like the sort of thing you would see Thrawn playing, but Fett is so much better at it because of cards like Fire Spray.
Because of cards like Fire Spray, and then just the economy with.
Okay, so Trey's going to come out with a Relentless here. Another card that I think is quite underrated. Because of Piet, it gets ambush. He's immediately going to swing in and murder the Fire Spray.
Murder the Fire Spray.
That's also going to start to put a damper on the kind of crap, this kind of shenanigans that Dominic can come in with.
Right. Because
of the way Relentless's game text works. Chad asking, we're 25 minutes in the round. We're still on game 1. What happens if we go all the way?
So what was that? Power.
That was I Am Your Father again.
Oh, okay. Trey electing, I believe.
I think Trey has to let him have the cards here.
Right.
I don't think he can afford to give up.
Yeah, he's got to have board state.
Yep.
So yeah, going to time. It's whoever has the most wins, and let's say they're in the middle of game 3, we're 1-1, and time is called in the middle of game 3, and they're not able to decide the winner of game 3 by the end of the time, that will just result in a double loss for both players.
Yep.
And that's just the kind of thing that happens with these control versus control slow deck.
I missed it, but Trey took the initiative. That's a huge play for him because he's sitting on a Devastator in his hand.
And that's what I was going to say too. I think that's why Relentless. Oh, so did Relentless get No Good to Me dead?
I think he did. Yes.
And Devastator going to go ahead and pop.
Devastator's going to pop the Avenger like a balloon.
Amazing.
Love that play. That big Sentinel in space is also going to make it very difficult. Oh, he's going to play it with the ambush even.
Off of Piet.
That way he can get the overwhelm damage through on the base. Yep.
Correct.
So he's going to use Piet.
Why use the effect?
Why use the effect when you can actually put 2 damage on the base
Squeeze
that
a little
way?
Damage in, yeah.
Yep, sneak some more damage in. Both players 5 health remaining. What a battle.
Yeah.
Dominic's going to scoop.
Yep, he's got nothing.
He's got nothing left.
And
Trey's going to take game
Trey
one.
takes game one.
Double check and make sure that's what happened.
Pretty sure. Here, let me go check. Real quick.
Just go verify that for me. Looking like that's what happened. We're just getting a double verification. We want to make sure that we're going to award the win to the right person. Well, we're going to make sure we caught it right. Correct. Okay, good. All right. On to game two. Now, both players in a match like this have up to 3 minutes. Each of these decks comes with a 10 cards. They're allowed to bring a 10 card sideboard. So both players able to spend a few minutes and swap as many cards in or out of their deck as they wish. They still, at the end, must have a 10-card sideboard that they put away.
That was a great game.
That was battle.
Watching those types of games are way more fun than playing those types of games.
I completely agree. I completely agree.
And that's why you will not catch me
playing Control.
Playing Control in a tournament setting. I'll bring it to a weekly and have fun playing a couple of games 100%. Of it. But in a tournament setting where it's 3, 4, 5 rounds, then possibly
you're just exhausted at the end of the day.
I'd be exhausted.
The very first tournament of this game I ever played in, I took Krennic Blue.
Mm-hmm.
No, Krennic Green.
Yeah.
Krennic ECL, right? And my second match of the day was against a guy playing Iden Green. And literally the match was he would play Avenger. I would play Avenger. He would hit it with Vanquish. He would play Avenger. I would play Devastator. He would play Devastator. It was just, we just kept slapping each other. And at the end of game one, which like this game took like 25 minutes.
Oh yeah.
I just looked at him and said, "You can have this match. Yeah. I don't want to do that again."
Nope.
I was just hard pass.
It's too mentally exhausting for me to.
I'm with you.
To want to put myself through that, and then just also the running into not a player that's intentionally slow playing.
No, but the deck by nature plays slow.
Plays slow, and then also causes your opponent to take more time to think about what they're going to do than they probably normally would. And just that not only the mental exhaustion, but that threat of going to a double loss is probably going to deter me from ever playing Control in this game. In a tournament setting.
I will say this. I will say this. I do think there is value in how do I want to say this? One of the things that I've learned, the games that I've played when I play, like when I play World of Warships, right? For example, there's value in learning how those matchups work. By playing it, you learn its weaknesses and its strengths, and it helps you understand how to beat it.
Right. Because that's one thing at the moment that me being a Churret player, a couple of practice games that I played into Trey, felt miserable because I just didn't know the matchup, and I still don't know the matchup. I've been out
in terms of playing against Palpatine.
Playing against Palpatine, correct? Sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah. Into like the more standard Control decks, I kind of get it. Palpatine in particular, though, I just don't understand it yet. And that just comes from a place of not having as many reps into it as I would like.
Reasonable, and because part of that's because there's not a lot of people playing him in the.
There's not. We have. We have two players.
We have two players here today playing him, and they are the most hardcore that I have encountered yet. That they are. This is my dude.
Yep.
There are many dudes like him, but this one is mine. You know.
And I get it. He's Palpatine.
Yeah. Papa Palpatine. I loved playing Palpatine in Destiny.
Yes.
And so I'm excited to see him make an impact in this game.
Right.
You talk about the matchup being one that you don't. It's hard to plan for because you don't see it a lot. I have a similar experience with it, right? That store championship we played in a couple weeks ago out at Eton. I brought Boba Yellow and Boba Cunning, and my second match of the day was against someone playing Palpatine, but I think it was a red Palpatine. I think he was playing Palpatine Tarkentown.
Okay,
that sounds right. I don't remember precisely, but I spent the first game overthinking everything I did because I didn't want to give him that free unit when Palpatine comes out, or certainly not give him one that he would want to keep.
Right.
And that first game went like 20, like this one, like 25 minutes in Boba Yellow, which is really unusual.
Right.
And I lost.
Yep.
I thought my way to a loss by overthinking it. And I sat down, like I kind of had this mental conversation with myself where I played game 2 and I said, you know what? I'm going to take this deck and I'm just going to play it like an aggro pile.
Right.
And I just relentlessly attacked his base every opportunity I got in game 2, and it lasted about 8 minutes.
Right.
And I realized the way for me at least, the way in the matchup I was playing, the way to beat it was to outrace it.
Correct.
And in this match, Dominic's deck is not geared to that sort of play.
It's not,
he has to outlast
you don't
it.
see the yellow staples, like there's no cunning, there's no surprise strike. He's playing a control deck. He sacrifices those aggressive cards for all these different control pieces.
Right.
And I mean, so in the main deck, he has a resupply. So he's obviously going for the long game mill strategy of wanting to just get his opponent down to a place where they have nothing left and refill his deck.
Right. Right.
And so that's a strategy. So I get what you're saying. He can't pivot into that strategy of let me just race Palpatine.
Right. Because that's the thing. Palpatine's, I won't say his weakness, but let's say his main drawback, right, is how late he comes out.
Right.
He is the slowest leader to hit the board in the game as it stands at present.
Right.
And so that means that if you just kind of outrace him, it is difficult for him to even have an impact on the board. The other thing that I'm kind of mentally walking back through game 1, both players taking a mulligan here. I didn't see Trey really use Palpatine's ability all that much.
No.
Which is interesting because I feel like there's a lot of opportunities, but I think the way he's constructed the deck, those opportunities are few.
Yes. I believe you see a lot more of that with the red version of Palpatine. That's constantly trying to use the ability a lot more. So here we go into game 2.
Yep. Dominic coming in with the Inferno 4. Trey grabs the initiative, and we're on to round 3, or on to the next turn. Trey not having anything that he can put on the board out of his mulligan hand that will help him in that instance.
That's rough, but I don't think Palpatine minds that as much as other.
Trey seemed to do pretty okay with it last round, and what's interesting to me also, he never used ECL last game.
Did he not?
He did not. Now he does bring out one of the Homestead Militias.
There we go.
Which does not yet have doesn't have
Sentinel.
A Sentinel at the moment.
Gonna get removed with Power of the Dark Side, being the only unit on the board on Trey's side.
Looks like Trey's trying to figure out what to resource here. Looks like he grabbed initiative.
Yeah, that's what I imagine. It's that. What is that? The TIE Advance.
Yeah.
Things aren't going to stick.
No.
Playing against control.
Things are not going to stick against control. The
right.
value
and then
of those
even
tokens
you get
is,
to buff something and then it gets removed before
Spark
you
of Rebellion here. We see Invader, Probe Droid, Guard, and Traitorous. He does not want to put up with Trey's Traitorous anymore.
How much damage did the Inferno 4
that Inferno 4, gosh, it must have gotten at least 6 or 8.
6 or 8, if I had to guess. Yeah.
Like, that was a third of the damage
Correct.
It felt like Trey did last game was off of Dominic's own unit.
Yep. Viper Probe Droid hitting so Trey can get a view of Dominic's hand. Dominic taking the initiative, not swinging with Inferno 4. Rather have the initiative.
It makes sense going into Boba's round, right?
Yeah,
Boba comes out at
absolutely.
5. Having the initiative when Boba's coming onto the board
to try to make
makes
the most
sense.
of make the most of that Boba turn and make sure that you actually get to take something out and then ready your resources.
Now, Trey winning game 1 is a really big thing in this particular match because if Dominic doesn't outright win game 2 in 19 minutes, then Trey wins the match.
Correct. And there's been a lot of contention about kind of how that works with time and only winning one game, but still winning the entire round.
It's definitely one of the more controversial
personally, I
things.
Like it.
I think there's a lot of room for improvement. Let's just put it that way.
Fair enough.
I think that's a nice way to say it. Royal Guard's going to smash into Boss, get rid of him off the board.
What did Boss...
Boss came in and ambushed the Probe Droid.
Gotcha.
It out.
Okay, I missed that.
That's okay.
Forgot that was on the board. Inferno 4 swinging.
Inferno 4, and Mahdi coming in for likewise as Trey, finally getting a little damage
And then
onto
we'll see
the
Boba
base.
come out.
Boba comes out to play. Trey's going to grab the initiative. And Boba's going to clean up the guard because the Sentinel means that he does not have an option.
And then Dominic sitting on 3 resources. Looks like he has...
He's got a Power of the Dark Side,
No,
a Vigilance.
Oh, yeah. Power of the Dark Side, Vigilance.
That
and
looks
is
like a
that
Bounty Hunter crew.
Yeah. So nothing really great
Nothing
to
he
play
can really
there.
do with those
Yeah.
resources. I mean, he could power Mahdi, but that feels terrible.
That feels bad. That feels bad.
That's a terrible. Like that makes that just ugh.
So not really leveraging Boba's deployment turn as hard as he would probably like to. We have Veers hitting the table.
Both players on 6 resources now. Dominic having to think through here. He's sitting on a Vigilance. I'm not sure what you would... He's going to go for it.
Yeah, I think you just take it. Veers is 3 health, right?
Veers is 3
but
health.
he's electing
Or
to
Mahdi's
take
going to
out
get rid
Mahdi.
of Mahdi, which is going to let... He's going to let Veers stand
Hey,
up.
I mean, it kills combo potential later for
Yep.
him. Something bigger hits the board, and Trey's able to leverage Mahdi the way
Yep.
he wants to. And then
Boba's going to clean him up.
clean him up. That makes sense.
Yep. Trey's going to grab the initiative and get thumped by
Inferno 4.
Inferno 4 one more time.
Boba should have 3 more damage on him. I'm
Yeah,
sure they'll catch it.
Because he
here in a
did have to
second.
smash Veers in the face to
Right.
clean him up. So
Boba should be sitting on 1
Boba
HP.
should be sitting on 1 health. They have not caught it yet, but...
Oh, I see my buddy, the average stream in the chat. What's up, dude?
All right. Vader is going to smash Boba here. It's just a question of what Vader's going to bring with him. You know the deck that I can't wait to put gold classic green Vader in is Moff Gideon when that card comes out.
Moff Gideon looks
I
awesome.
can't wait to build
both
that
him
deck.
and the Mandalorian look
Yeah,
like a lot
I
of
can't
fun.
wait to build that deck.
I'm as a turret player, I'm hoping that it's I don't even want to play turret. I just after playing turret so much, I like upgrades.
Okay.
Upgrades
I do
are
too.
like the weakest type of card in the game.
In the current state of the game, they feel the weakest, and
but all of the
I'm ready for more.
upgrade support that's been shown off looks fun. I don't know how good it's going to be. That big payoff Mandalorian space unit that allows you to move them around.
Oh, that guy's
looks
yes.
fun. Looks fun.
Well,
will it be good? We'll see.
The other one that I like that they've spoiled is the Gar Saxon.
Yes.
That we're not supposed to have seen yet.
We didn't see it. We
didn't see it. But the fact that he lets you get your upgrades back off of defeated units, like that is going to be amazing.
Yes.
Trey decides on a super laser technician.
Makes sense.
And is going to smash Boba in the face and clear him off the board.
I'm also kind of excited for Kylo. Discard mechanics are always fun.
Kylo's one of those odd leaders that like his front side feels stronger than his unit side.
And you know what? One of the developers put out a tweet. A post that Kylo was designed in reverse. He was designed leader side first.
Dominic's going to make use of that bounty hunter crew.
Killing Vader.
Going to clean Vader off the board and basically trade because Vader's going to smash him back.
Correct.
But he's going to
it's
get
a 4/4, right?
Yep. Yeah. But he's going to be able to get a event back. He's got to. I mean, I feel like if he doesn't grab the spark, he's kidding himself.
It's a hard.
He's going to go for the power of the dark side.
Hey, the single target removal. I think that was one of the things he was lacking at the end of game 1 is that he didn't have enough single target removal at the end of the game.
Trey holds on to the initiative, and we're off to what could be a big turn for him. Palpatine.
Trey's got 4. I mean, Trey does have a small hand, so I could see the argument for Spark as well. But I would be willing to bet that lack of single target removal.
What surprised me to see him do that, he already had another. I think he already had another.
I think he does have another
hand.
one.
I think he's got 2 in there now.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like the Spark might have been a better long-term play. We'll see
Maybe.
how it goes.
How many did he play last game?
We only he played it twice.
He did play it
He played
twice.
it twice. Gonna take
Two.
two to the base with the Super Laser Technician. Trey, of course, can freely off that guy whenever he wants just by using Palpatine's text. Oh, he has now. Okay, if he has to kill the Relentless here. If he doesn't, he's going to lose access to all the things that make his deck work.
So maybe that's why he decided. I didn't see that he had another one of those.
He went for the command.
Hey, the recursion from command was pretty killer in the last
Interesting choice. Okay. This is one of those matchups that it's like you say, it's more fun to watch than it is to play.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how I would play this match.
Correct.
Right. Trey's got the option here. He's got a probe droid showing he can keep it. He's going to keep it.
He's going to keep it.
I think that's actually a good play for him. He's only got 2 cards in his hand.
True.
Power of the Dark Side, going to kill the Super Laser Technician. Actually, a benefit to Trey there, really.
Well,
he keeps it as a resource. He already got damage out of it this round. Like, that's not so terrible.
That's true.
I've got the damage total wrong for Trey. He's now on 15 remaining. Dominic must have healed somewhere. He's only showing 2 damage on his base. That doesn't feel right.
Maybe he missed.
Oh, do you know what? The vigilance that went by earlier.
Oh, correct.
That must have been it. And I just missed it.
Yeah, I'm
going
going to trust
ECL on, I wonder. I missed that. Oh, well.
I think it was like earlier when he played the Royal Guard, but then it was like instantly defeated as well.
Maybe. Reinforcement Walker's going to swing in here for 6.
Makes sense.
He's going to look at the card, and Power of the Dark Side is going to kill the Walker.
I think Trey drew the card with the Reinforcement Walker effect.
Or did he miss it? If he did, it's a Super Laser Technician, I think.
Okay. Interesting. You know what? That kind of makes sense because he just needs things on the board.
So it's like, let's look at the probe droid, right?
Right.
You might as well draw it.
Sure.
4 for the escort skiff.
That's a card that you don't see a lot of either.
I gotta say, that card surprised me. The very first pre-release, I ended up playing Gen Green, and man, I got a ton of value out of that thing. For a 4-cost, single green, 4-drop, that's a pretty good little unit.
On the surface, it definitely seemed like that's a prime card to get cut from this deck come set 2, because it kind of feels like a draft card. Just
Dominic grabs the initiative. Trey brings in another Super Laser Tech,
and going into
moving on
the next turn.
Dominic on the button for the first time in a little bit. See how he starts the turn. Certainly has the resources. Certainly has the power there if he wants, and he does.
Of course, there goes the Super Laser Technician.
Yep.
One more resource for Trey.
He's going to go ahead and take the damage to the base while he can get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good play. Haven't seen Palpatine
felt like
come
a
out
very
yet
different game than game 1.
Speaking of damage to the base, there comes. Swung in with the TIE Fighter there. What I missed there? He sacrificed was that a Super Laser Tech? He used Palpatine? Yeah.
I think. Oh yes, correct.
Yeah.
That's absolutely what happened.
Yeah, he used Palpatine there with the Super Laser Tech.
Just didn't exhaust Palpatine.
Now he's going to bring out Relentless.
That makes sense.
Yep. Relentless, I think, is one of the more underrated cards in the set because it really makes these control matchups very difficult for the control player to navigate.
Yes.
Especially in the late game.
Got to do a lot more math.
And
maybe resource a card where you normally wouldn't want to. Trey taking
2 big Star Destroyers on Trey's side of the board now. I think Dominic passed there, so Trey took again. Palpatine out in play. Couple of resources left there in Dominic's hand. He's got it entrenched.
Yeah, I think.
But he doesn't know where to put it because he's got 2 Star Destroyers staring him down. He's going to go for the Relentless.
Really?
He's going to go for Relentless. Trey's going to grab the initiative.
I don't. Why? I must be missing something. Relentless swings for one more. It does one more point of damage.
I don't remember precisely. Hold on a minute. I've got to find the right. Show you guys what Entrenched does. Why is it not?
Did you skip it?
No, it's here. It's this one, I think. No, that's Electro Staff.
Close enough.
It's that one. There it
we
was.
go.
So Relentless can no longer attack Dominic's base, but Avenger absolutely can.
I don't know why you
And
wouldn't
there it goes.
put it on Avenger, though. Because Avenger's going to swing and get rid of a unit every time it swings. Inferno 4 dies doing the on death.
Yep, Inferno 4 lets him do a little bit of shenanigans there on its way off the board with that when defeated text.
Both players still above 10 HP, and there's only 7 minutes left in the round.
Mm-hmm. It's a tough match.
So
The
either Trey's going to get it, or they're going to go to game 3 and not finish, and it'll just be a double loss.
Truth be told, if I'm Dominic, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this without a
Yeah,
super laser
that's
blast.
true. He's definitely in
Without the super laser blast, I don't think he can.
So there he goes taking the
I
initiative.
think he's just got to take it and
take
hope
the
he draws.
damage.
He's got to drink the
Right,
initiative.
he's
and
got
hope
to top deck the.
He's got to hope he draws into it right here.
Right.
So here it is. This is really Dominic's game. Whatever these next two cards are.
Because what does he have in his hand right now? Like a takedown of
It's like a
Fett's fire spray?
That's yeah, that sounds about right. It's a takedown of Fett's fire spray, and I can't make out the
Is
third
that
one.
another entrenched?
No, I think he would have done that already.
Oh, true.
Trey swings in with Palpatine.
I don't know what that last
Trey
card
could
is.
potentially put more on the board if he
Yeah,
wants, but he doesn't need to.
However many resources he has.
Looks like he's got about 12 or 13 out there.
I mean, you might as well, because either Dominic top decks the super laser blast
or he does,
or not.
yeah.
And it looks like
he
he does
doesn't
not.
get. He comes in. He's got another takedown.
And a no good to me dead. Is that what that is? Or a waylay?
It looks like a waylay.
So
yeah.
It looks like he's just scooping. He didn't
scoop
draw
it
the out.
Yep.
And that's a game 2 victory for Trey, and he'll take the round.
Absolutely. Well done.
Yeah. Those were interesting to watch. Again, way more fun to watch than play those types of matchups.
Indeed. Now, I've got to make a quick change here because I've got these players reversed. So I'll fix that in a minute.